Today's presentation is about scaling. So scaling, you can't just scale one, right? If we're talking about scaling, we're talking about bringing substreams tier one and tier two to multiple machines. So specifically, we're talking about horizontal scaling. So horizontal scaling means scale it across multiple servers. All right, so that's the goal here today. So one or more. So you need at least one and more, depending if you got 1,000 substream powered subgraphs. You might need more than one substreams tier two node or tier one node. Maybe, I don't know what the number is before you need more than one. You have to look at your hardware. We'll talk more about that later. So it's according to the workload. And then if you have different chains that you want to support, you need a substreams tier one endpoint for each chain, just like you need a Firehose for each chain. So you need a Substreams for Ethereum, you need one for BSC, you need one for Polygon, etc. All right, and then you run the specific Firehose binary for the chain or Firehose core if it's for Solana, for example. So hopefully that's clear. It's just the normal setup that you would normally do with the rest of the Firehose stack. Substreams tier one looks pretty much like that. And I have the config files later so we can look at them. Substreams up tier 2, on the other hand, is very different. So you can run it like Substream tier 1, and you can tie one tier 2 node to each tier 1 if you want. However, that doesn't scale very well because the load that Substreams needs to process, at one point it needs to process, you have a new subgraph on Ethereum, so it needs a bunch of tier 2 nodes to quickly process that. That catches up to live, and then those tier 2 nodes are kind of sitting there going, nothing to do, right? But then you start syncing a subgraph for BSC. Now those tier 2 nodes can be busy again. So if you have one pool of tier 2 nodes that can be shared now across Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, Solana, name whatever chain you want, you only need one cluster of tier 2 nodes. If you want one cluster per blockchain, go ahead. But the thing that's changed recently, last year, is that now you can create one tier 2 cluster and have it hooked up to all your tier 1s that you have, no matter what the blockchain, which makes it much easier from a scaling perspective.